Hi everyone, it's Asia Levy here. How are you? I'm coming to you from Florida still. I'm here for the summer. I'm still having such a great time. I wanted to make a video, I wanted to go live tonight and talk about something that I get questions about a lot, which is, I just want to shut this off not to get any interruptions. Which is my experience from when I was raw, you can almost say raw vegan. I was still eating eggs. My experience from raw vegetarian, let's say, almost raw vegan, versus keto. The good, the bad, and the ugly, an honest kind of comparison. As many of you know, because you follow me on Facebook and whatnot, I do ketogenic living right now, like almost across the board with keto, drinking ketones, and intermittent fasting, but there are still a lot of things. Hi everyone, please tell me where you're coming in from. I see my friend Tiffany, she joined my family yesterday. I'm so happy to have her. Mary Ann, Samantha. Let me know where you're coming in from. Anyway, so there are still some very, very valuable things that I found about, raw foods and being vegetarian, and I want to talk about those and just give you like a little bit of, my experience, because I did the raw thing for a really long time and I wasn't eating meat for, I'm going to say, maybe like 7 years. Hi, Tiffany. All right. So first of all, as like many people know, the keto diet is more, it's pretty much restricting most of your carbs. You're not eating starchy vegetables. You are having animal meats, and you are having eggs and cheese, and you're having nuts and seeds, and you are having vegetables, but you're not having fruit. Some fruit, let's say berries in moderation, but you're not like having bananas and pineapples and mangoes and things like that. So that's more like the keto style of eating. There's definitely no flour, and there's no like potatoes and rice and things like that, versus like a plant-based diet where you're eating lots of vegetables and you're having grains and legumes and you're having some nuts and seeds in moderation, some oils in moderation, but it's really vegetables, and it is a lot of, which is where I did not appreciate it, which is a lot of vegetarian, like imitation meats and imitation cheeses and a lot of imitation food, which at the end of the day is very, very processed, so that's something that I really didn't like. I found myself eating things, but I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. So yeah, plant-based diet versus keto. So I wrote my notes. I am still a teacher, so let's begin. I do want to start about the good thing about the plant-based diet. The first thing straight out of the gate that I noticed that I do want to share is that my hair, skin, and eyes were amazing when I was on the plant-based diet. My hair grew longer, faster, thicker, okay? And that was something that I was really, really enjoying. At the time, I had just gone brunette, so I was really excited. My hair was full, it was very, very shiny, and it was growing like wildfire. And my eyes were very, very clear. In all the photos that I was taking, my eyes were like, I have hazel eyes. They were so like, just clear. They really, really looked light, almost like a yellow, like a honey color. And I think that was from the raw foods. If you really think about it, if you're juicing, there's a lot of chlorophyll, and there's a lot of live energy. There's live things that you're putting into your body. So of course, your enzymes, your cells, they're going to liven up also. So my hair, my skin looked great, and my eyes looked great too. So that was the first thing that I noticed about plant-based diet and eating vegetarian and not eating any animal meat whatsoever. And that was good. I really, really liked that. I'm not going to lie. I like that. Yeah, now I'm on keto. I'm not gonna say that I see a like profound difference in my hair. I definitely don't think that it's growing faster or longer. I don't really see any difference in my eyes, and I think that my skin is pretty much the same. Just a little backstory on why I became vegetarian in the first place. It really wasn't because of like animal rights. Not that I don't love animals, but it was more towards like anti-aging and turning back the clock. I watched tons of videos on YouTube. I got very involved in like watching The Banana Girl and Marcus Rothkrantz and Tanya Zavasta. I read a lot of books, and if you want to look young as you're getting old, that's a great option. I was juicing every single day, and yeah, I definitely started looking, I would say, like younger for sure. But now on keto, back to the point, I do not see, hi Sam, let me know where you're coming in from. I do not see a difference so much in my hair, skin, and nails. All right, so that's that. That's the good. That's the first thing I did want to say, a plus for the plant-based diet. Now let's get into like the real grit of why I love keto so much. Amanda, tell me where you're coming from. The next thing I want to talk about is energy, okay? I have a lot of energy. I really, really do. I have a lot of energy naturally, but more than most, I would say. But in my opinion, when I was a vegetarian and I was eating that way, I didn't have a lot of energy. I mean, I was doing more than some people, I guess you could say, but I was having a huge coffee in the morning. I was like, you know, totally looking, hey Scott, how are you? I was totally looking forward to the second cup of coffee at 4:00. I mean, for sure, I needed it. Either I needed a coffee or I needed a nap, and you're not able to have a nap all the time. But if I didn't have that nap, I was tired. I was dragging myself, and I was tired, I was at school. I, kind of like wasn't like moving around as much as I could have or should have. And I noticed that my energy level was fair. Let's just say fair. I didn't realize how low it was until I got on keto, because when I got on the keto diet and obviously when I started drinking ketones, my energy, like I can't even believe it. It's like I'm a different person, and I'm not young, I'm not young. I've shared this. I'm over 40, not too much over 40, but, yeah, so I'm like the Energizer Bunny now. I'm going all day long. I'm doing a lot of different things, and I feel like really good about that, because if you're being productive and you're doing all these things and taking care of your kids, still getting the workout done, still meal prepping, doing it, I'm in it, I'm working the business, and I'm teaching. I'm a teacher. I'm, very, very busy. So yeah, my energy level is great. And I would say also that my sleep has improved, because I think that could be because of the ketone. And I'm not really talking about the ketones right now. I'm just talking about keto. So check plus for energy on keto, okay? When I was on a plant-based diet, I still went to the gym all the time. My workouts were average at best. I'd do the normal cardio and then I'd lift a couple of weights. Nothing spectacular. Now I'm like in it, sweating, doing it 6 days a week, 7 sometimes. Don't miss it. And I definitely think that my body has changed too. So because of that energy, I think that I'm able to like take it to the next level. Okay, so let's continue. Plant-based versus keto. All right, so the next thing that I want to talk about is the fact that I feel, this kind of relates to the energy, but I feel, and I know, and it's science, and you can look it up, that my sugar levels are stable on keto. I am stable. I am not, eating and then feeling so full and then feeling hungry half an hour later and then being tired, I need to lay down and take a nap. That doesn't really happen with keto. I don't overdo it because I'm not eating carbs and flour. I'm not like walking. Let me know where you're coming in from. Everybody's getting on, Bob and Elizabeth. I'm not walking out of a restaurant, like rolling out of a restaurant anymore. It just doesn't exist. I feel satisfied because the foods that I'm eating, they're very, very, they're delicious. And like, my God, who wouldn't want to have like, all the foods that are on keto? So I feel satisfied and my sugars are stable versus not being stable. And let's just talk about that a little bit more. I am a clothes horse. I love my clothes and I love to dress, and I dress for school and I love my whatever. When I was on the plant-based vegetarian diet, I was not always fitting into my clothes. I would wake up one day and I'd be thin, and then the next day, you know, I would be like, I could have, who knows, retained water. I could have been 3 or 4 pounds heavier. It was like crazy. It was just not stable. Whereas now, when I'm on keto, I feel from day to day, I am stable. From day to day, this is my body. This is what I look like. My muscles, like I'm getting a little bit more defined because I'm working out, you know, now that I have some extra free time in the summer, but from day to day, the size is the same, and I really appreciate that because I'm not like, whatever the science behind it is, I'm not like retaining water, and I don't have like all that extra glucose and insulin in my body. So that is check plus for keto. I'm stable. My weight is stable. My sugars are stable. So I really, really enjoy that. The next thing that I want to share is that, like I kind of spoke about this already, is that when I was on a plant-based diet and I was vegetarian, it kind of like starts to present a couple of different problems. You know, you don't want to, first you stop eating meat, and then you continue, you don't want to eat dairy. And then you start eating like imitation dairy, and then you start eating imitation meat. They're very, very high in calories, and they're not dietetic whatsoever. And they have a lot of fillers, and if you're eating fillers, they're vegetarian, but you don't even know what's in it. You know, there's a lot of like whey. I didn't even, after a while, I wasn't even having the whey protein shake. I was really, really trying to be so strict, and I started to question, like, what is my purpose of being so strict with this? You know, because if it's not really for like the animals, it's more for like health reasons, and it's more for like anti-aging purposes. You know, if I'm miserable all the time, and if I'm, you know, heavy and I'm not fitting into my clothes, like, is this really hey Jessica, how are you? Miss you. How valuable is this, you know, diet? You know, I want to be happy also. So I feel that it could lead you to start eating things that are very processed. And also, if you're on a plant-based diet, think about it. You're going to be buying a lot of fruits and vegetables. If you're not buying organic, okay, and sometimes even when they say it's organic, you don't even know if it's organic. If it's not organic, you really shouldn't be eating it because it's so sprayed. You don't want to be eating things that don't have like skin or a shell. Definitely not like berries or, you know, like apples. It's so sprayed. I mean, those poisons, we don't think about it, but those things can really, really harm us. And if you're eating a plant-based diet and you're not eating only organic, it can, number one, it can get costly. And number two, you could be like, you know, introducing those types of pesticides into your body. So it's very, very scary to think about that. So artificial, like vegetarian foods, plus possibly sprayed fruits and vegetables, I was kind of like getting a little, you know, kind of questioning it. Whereas I started to realize that there's like 3 or 4 things that I just need to ask myself, you know. Did the food that I'm eating, like, did it walk this earth? Okay. Did it swim in the sea? Okay. Did it grow from the ground? Okay. Did it fall from a tree? That's it. You know, pasta that's made in a factory, or rice that's made in a factory, or, you know, cereal, even if it's grains and all this kind of things that, you know, they say it's so healthy, it's processed and it's made in a factory. It's not supposed to be in my body. If you think about 3,000 years ago, you know, like cavemen, they weren't eating Lucky Charms, you know, did it walk the earth, swam in the sea, grew from the ground, or fell from a tree. You know, this is kind of like where we kind of should be headed, you know, because this is it. You know, keeps us away from the processed things. Because again, and I don't really want to get too much into this, but the government, if you think about the food pyramid, the government says that we should, you know, the American Heart Association, we should have 6 to 8 servings of carbohydrates. It's on the bottom of the pyramid every day. How could this be correct? If carbohydrates causes inflammation, and inflammation causes disease, this can't be correct. So then it's causing disease, and then who's there to save you? The pharmaceutical companies. You need to flip that pyramid around, and it should be high fat, moderate protein, low carbs on the bottom. That is the way. That is the way. I mean, I'm not saying that keto is for everybody. It's certainly not. Like, we're all in this together. If Weight Watchers is for you, good luck. I mean, I loved Weight Watchers for a long time. I would lose the weight, I'd get into my skinny jeans, and then I'd gain the weight again. Keto may not be for everybody, and that's fine, you know, but this is why I think it is like the holy grail of all the diets. That's what I think. It's a holy grail of all diets, because the truth of the matter is when you're on the carbs and when you're on the sugars, your body craves it and it's hard to get out. And then if you get out, you're almost good. And you still want to eat the breads, because it's normal. But when you're out, you're out. Start putting it back in. You're going to be white knuckling it all the time. It's very, very hard because sugar is highly addictive. All right, I don't want to get too far off course here. We're talking about, if you just jumped on, which diet was better for me, keto or a plant-based vegetarian diet, which I did for a very long time. We're almost up to the last thing that I noticed, and I've spoken about it before. Hey, Jessica, the thing that this was the topper for me, is if you look at, hey, Alba, we're talking about the keto diet versus a plant-based vegetarian raw diet, so to speak. I was eating raw all the time. I was eating a lot of salads and things like that. I was juicing all the time. I mean, juicing. And while it did have some positives, if you watch the video from the beginning, for the most part, I didn't feel like my best self. And the final thing that I want to say, which all of us, ladies care about, even the men too, I was heavier. Look at the picture that I just posted. I was heavier. Not so much heavier, I'll tell you. If you look at the picture closely, I wasn't so much heavier, but I was inflamed. I had all of the inflammation. Oh my God, Chris, no, you are amazing. You are amazing, Chris. And I'm so glad to be a part of this movement with you. You're amazing. I was puffy. I was inflamed, but I was raw vegan. So or vegetarian. I wasn't eating dairy or animal products, but I was still eating eggs. If I was raw vegetarian, why am I so puffy? Why was I so chunky? I just don't know, As soon as I went on keto, and as soon as, I'm sorry to, put it in there, but it's true, the ketone, as soon as I went on the two together, all the inflammation was out. All the excess water weight was out. There was no more white knuckling it for sugar. Not at all. There was energy that was high every single day. Maybe every 2 weeks or whatever, like on a Sunday, I would just take a very, very long nap, to catch up, whatever. But it wasn't like daily. I am so tired. I can't take this life anymore. That's how it used to be. So as soon as I, started the keto, if you look at the before and after pictures, I, shrunk. I have been able to maintain my weight ever since. And you know what? I think that it definitely, I've shared this before in some of my videos, for sure it's taken a huge toll in a positive way on my mental state. I have a great mindset now. I think that, people need to look into the keto diet and why it affects your brain function. The keto diet was it was derived in the 1920s. People love it. It has helped people with, epilepsy, autism, ADHD, depression. It helps me with mindset. And it really, really kind of I don't know, I think I've gotten my day back. I've gotten my life back. The ketones surely helped, but just keto in general. If you're not ready for the ketones, just do keto and you will increase your brain function. And I think that it's just great. I think it's great. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. I wanted to say hello. I'm going to be trying to get on live as much as I can during this summer because I'm just, kind of moving and grooving down here in Florida, and I'm loving it. And, I can't forget about my Facebook family because, this is it. So if you have any questions, please let me know. 2 announcements. If you are interested in the keto diet, please let me know. I will put you into my keto-ish meal plan group. I have one online. It's a private group. Please let me know. We talk about what we're eating and we share recipes. It doesn't have to get boring. Okay. And if you are interested in starting the ketones, that's a different story. Just reach out and I will let you know because it goes hands in hands. Keto, ketones, intermittent fasting, the best. That's it. That's where it's at least for me. I'm not telling anybody what to do. Okay, so that's it. I love you all, and I wish you a wonderful, wonderful Monday morning. Monday mornings don't have to be so depressing anymore. Have a great night.